in primary school when I was always asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I always spontaneously answered, "I want to be a doctor." When I was asked the same question again in high school, my answer became a more confident and serious one. "I want to become an accountant." Now, 2 years out of high school, I could have never imagined that I would be standing here at Automation Works doing an engineering course. Good morning, everyone. My name is TAWANDA, and as you already know, I'm a student here at Automation Works. And today, I'm going to be presenting my design project for the term. This term, we've mainly focused on mechanical engineering. As with most inventions and designs, people usually have a motivation to invent something, whether it is to solve a problem or to improve on an existing design. In my case, I saw a design I can improve to solve a problem. I saw that in some communities where drug use is common, people or drug users would usually use toilet paper in public restrooms to clean their dirty used needles with. This, of course, made the use of public restrooms unsafe for the general public. So I decided to invent something that will improve public safety and health. But the actual problem lies in the design of these commonly used toilet paper dispensers in public restrooms. They leave the toilet paper in use too exposed to the outside elements and to people with potentially ill intentions. Have you ever been in a situation where you're in a public restroom and you're using these dispensers and you're trying to pull out the toilet paper and it keeps breaking into pieces, and at the end you're stuck with a lot of pieces? Well, this happens because the spring wire in these dispensers, which sole purpose is to keep the top rolls, which there are usually two on top of the one in use, from pressing down on it. That spring wire usually fails over time, leading to the weight of the other rows pressing down on this one, which will require you to effectively pull harder to extract the toilet paper. And the harder you pull, the easier it breaks. A toilet paper dispenser has to adhere to two main functions. It has to keep the toilet paper safe and secured, and it has to make the dispensing of the toilet paper easier and more convenient. If it adheres to these requirements, it will A, prevent toilet paper theft, and B, prevent toilet paper damage. Now, unless you've personally experienced these problems, these are things the general public are not aware of. Issues like, why do people steal toilet paper? Well, there are a couple of reasons. Firstly, when there's a shortage of toilet paper in the area or region, desperate people might resort to stealing toilet paper. Secondly, when the prices of toilet paper increases, people that are struggling financially and are also desperate for toilet paper might resort to stealing toilet paper. And what places do they target? Places that always have a steady supply of toilet paper, like public restrooms or offices. And thirdly, in times of crisis, if we remember, in the COVID-19 pandemic, people fought for toilet paper in shops. And some officers reported that their monthly supply of toilet paper ran out in 2 days. To think that people in high-earning office jobs resorted to stealing toilet paper in the workplace just goes to show you how important and valuable this thing really is, and how important it is to keep it safe and secured. Next, how toilet paper is often damaged. As I explained before, when you extract the toilet paper in those vertical dispensers and the spring system has failed, it damages the toilet paper. Let me just go back to the image to give you a better explanation. So I took this photo myself at the Swellenmark Mall restrooms. On that day, I wanted to use the toilet paper, but as you can see, I encountered the problem. And I had to stick my hand inside the dispenser to try and turn it. And by doing that, I could have caused more damage to the toilet rolls above because I had to push them up just to get small piece of toilet paper out. And lastly, the most devastating reason on how toilet paper is often damaged. As I mentioned before, in places where drug use is common, drug users would use toilet paper in public restrooms to clean their dirty needles with. This leaves tiny blood marks on the toilet paper. And the implication of that is those blood marks can be a way of transmitting dangerous infections like HIV, hepatitis B, or C. The scary fact about this is the HIV virus, for example, can stay alive on surfaces for weeks at a time. And one roll of toilet paper gets used up in a matter of hours in a public restroom. Depending on how busy it is, it could be a matter of minutes or so. These are real life photos taken in public restrooms where, as you can see, these little red spots are the blood marks left behind by drug users. Now, you might ask yourself, how serious is this problem? And how fast is it growing? At what rate? How concerned should you be when you walk into a public restroom next time? Well, this graph shows the number of drug-related crimes in South Africa, or drug-related offenses, which include problems such as this, where people vandalize public property. So, a problem should be tackled in its earlier stages. And how should you tackle this problem? This is how I've decided to tackle this problem. To design a toilet paper dispenser that keeps the toilet paper in a vertical position while it is completely covered and protected from outside elements. So these are the structures or ideas I first had. So this was my initial plan, but the implication of that I ran into with this design is making or designing the shaft that the toilet paper would run through, and the card box would still be able to exit on this side. So what makes my design unique to the problem that I'm actually solving? Well, as you can see here, this is where the toilet paper comes out. So this is where you will extrude the toilet paper. But as you can see, due to the structure, it's not just an open path. It's a zigzag pathway. And it will be impossible for anyone to stick any foreign object up there, like needles or anything else like that. And when it came to the security measure I took, this is like a bar that runs through the whole design, and the bar will run through to secure the bottom plate. So this is my bill of materials so far. This is only for everything I have here. So this is the cost for everything as you see in front. It is still an ongoing process. It's not yet completed, as you can see. And then so far it has cost me 122 rand. How much time I spent on each, let's say, topic during the term. So the the biggest chunk of my time went into my design project, which is highlighted in purple there with 32.1%. And the second largest chunk is the tutorial project. Now, the tutorial project was a project where we disassembled a jack and we had to remodel all the parts in Fusion 360. But first, we had to measure how big each part is and start with 2D sketches and model it up to 3D. So, but it was quite a fun experience. And here's my poster, which most of you have seen. And now I would like just to acknowledge everyone that got me to this point. And lastly, I would like to thank myself for taking a leap of faith. The first day I walked in those doors, I didn't know what Automation Works was, what goes on here. And when I was explained what Automation Works was, I thought to myself, wow, I don't think I belong here. This seems too advanced for me. But I took the leap of faith, and it has come a long way. And I'm thankful that I took that leap of faith. And that is all. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.